do this summer?
You said you were going to grind. You said you were going to do the hard work. But do you know what the grind is?
So many people, we believe, misuse the word grind. What do you think grind actually means?
I think it means someone who puts in a lot of effort consistently. It's consistency. And we always say consistency is the key. So many people will grind for 1 to 2 hours and say it was a grind, but the next day they're doing none of the work again. What do you think a grind is?
Yeah, like you said, it's putting in hard work consistently over a long period of time. A grind isn't 2 hours of maths intervention, 2 hours in the gym. It is hard work, yeah, but a grind is tough. It's tough and it's rewarding. So you said you wanted to grind, but what are you actually gonna do? You're gonna smoke every Friday in the woods with your acquaintances? Are you gonna go to Reading and ruin yourself with illegal drugs, alcohol, for 5 days straight? That's not grinding, and you certainly won't be proud of yourself at the end of that summer, knowing that it was a waste. Well, maybe you had a blast of a time in the moment, but did your future self benefit?
I think the most important thing as well is that summer, for most people, is 5 to 6 weeks. In those 5 to 6 weeks, you can learn very valuable skills and very valuable information about yourself. And I think if people do set themselves a schedule or tell themselves what they want to do, or have a goal, or have something they want to achieve by the end of summer, maybe it is seeing improvements in their body, and they have to work hard for that. That 6 weeks, you can't just go to the gym once, twice in a week and think to see results over the 6 weeks. You've got to put in the effort, and then you got to do it consistently. 4 to 5, or however many times you maybe do push-pull legs, rest, whatever it is. But as long as you're putting consistency in, and you obviously see the hard work, but so many people will just have the hard work one day and just give up the rest. I think me and David are very good advocates for pushing for hard work, especially David, because this guy, he's always doing something, and I think this was really what keeps him on top of everyone. He's always doing something, and he's not getting distracted as easily as other people would. And I think he'd be good to tell you about that.
Yeah, thank you. This summer is so valuable. You've got 6 weeks, let's say. If you're in the UK, you've got 6 weeks. If you're in the US, I don't know, it might be 2-3 months.
Yeah, I think it's 3 months.
6 weeks of no school, let's say minimum UK, or even 5 weeks if you're in sixth form. 5 weeks, no school, free time. Now, this can go either one way or the other. This can go super well or super bad. But how do you make it go super well, obviously? You want it to go super well, don't you? Well, what you need to do is you need to write a plan every day. And most effectively would be to write a plan the night before for the next day. Of course, you need direction too. You need to set goals. What do you actually want to do this summer? What actually do you want to develop about yourself? Do you want to learn an instrument? Do you want to build that body? Do you want to play a sport? Do you want to pattern up your grades in school? And once you've got this target set out, every time you're working, every time you've got an opportunity to work harder, to improve yourself, put in maximum effort. Like we said in the other podcast, put in maximum effort, you get more value out of the activity than if you were to put lower effort. And this 6 weeks is going to be so valuable. It's going to be so different because usually we're at school, right? Most of us may not like school, and me and Tim believe that it can be a waste of time, like especially these last couple weeks where we're playing pirate game in maths in year 12 A-level maths, playing games with like playing general knowledge quiz. Like personally, I don't love school, but I'm here to learn. And this summer is such a great opportunity to actually grind. But I've actually learned a lesson with Tim too, and he told me the true definition of grind today, and I completely understand. I agree that it is consistent hard work, like over weeks, if not months. It's not a 1 hour daily thing.
Exactly.
It's not a 1 hour, 1 day thing.
Mm-hmm. And with going back to what you're talking about, the schedules and stuff, so many people like have a set schedule just for like the whole of summer, and I think I've not been doing this as well, but I think it's very important. You should be doing this, and I will be applying this. But like you said, start planning the day before or the night before when you're doing.
Yeah, that is the best.
Yeah, because in that moment, when it might be late at night for you or whenever it is, but you might have that higher sense of motivation, and when you have that higher sense of motivation, you're more likely to give yourself goals that you will want to achieve that next day, and then you'll wake up and you'll see, maybe you have it next to your bed or you have it wherever it is, and you'll see it and you'll be like, oh, I need to hit these, I set them yesterday, I need to hit these. Maybe it's going on, just doing one form of exercise for an hour, and that maybe that's just you starting off, but if you hit that, then when the next day you see it, like, oh, I did that yesterday, and you can be somewhat proud with yourself. And I think because we have so much free time, people are going to fall into a lot of instant gratification, because they're gonna have too much free time and not know what to do. And obviously, I think one of the most important things, we may say that we don't like the idea of school, but I think school still gives you a set schedule. It makes you follow something, and also you can do what you want around it. Because let's say you're in from 8 till 1, or for us we're in from 8 till 1. You have before school and you have after school to do stuff. And I think that time in school is just like you focus on what you're doing, but then afterwards you have that. But when you take away that one variable of school, and people don't have it, they seem to go. They're just like they're a dog that's just lost their owner. They start running around. They're like a headless chicken. They don't know what to do. And I think most important thing is, like David said, get that schedule, and get it done. Because otherwise, what's this summer going to be for? It's going to be 6 weeks of you thinking you're grinding, but putting in minimum effort.
That's right. And there's another reason why this plan before the next day, literally the night before, is so effective. It's because it's the most practical time. It's so practical, it's so useful, it's so effective, because the night before that day, you have the most information about what you have to do that day. For example, if I were to make a plan for the whole summer, for every day and almost like every hour, that's like the worst sort of plan you can do, because things are going to pop up. Families might invite you over. Something might happen. Your dad might need you to help you. You might get a new job. Your friends might ask to go out like a couple days before, and then your plan will be ruined, and you might be upset with yourself, and it's just harder to follow the plan. So what is really good, just spend 5-10 minutes every night in your journal. Write the plan out for the next day. And don't be too strict with yourself. I made this mistake so many times. Don't write 6 a.m. wake up, 6 to 6:30 meditate, 6 to 6:40 eat. Like, if you, like 6:30, then like, let's say 6:30 to 6:50 eat, 6:50 to 7:50 workout. Like, it's really not realistic, because you have to do things in between, if you understand. So you have to make dinner, like you have to make breakfast. I mean, does making breakfast actually take 20 minutes? What is very good is to like play around, experiment, and see what you can actually do with your time, how effective you can be. Like I used to take 20 minutes to eat breakfast, but after experimenting, now I know that it can take me 15 minutes to eat. But when I cook breakfast, for example, I don't sit there looking at my breakfast, my porridge. I know that I can use that time while it's cooking to do something else, to be more productive, to like wash my face. So, like, and if you're going from breakfast to working out, you might have to wash up dishes. You might have to get changed for your work. You might have to go to the gym. Does your workout actually take an hour? You have to take all these things into consideration to actually make your plan very realistic and actually able to be achieved. And once you actually start hitting this plan and you're doing it well, you actually be proud of yourself. So just make sure, keep this in mind, don't be strict with your plan, be realistic with your goals, because you, at the start of making plans, you won't be as productive. Your attention span might be lower, so you might not be as productive. And Just set yourself realistic goals.
I think
Don't tell yourself, I want to do 6 hours of the gym and then this and that and then go work and everything.
I think that
Be realistic.
the most important, yeah, that's the most important point. Just be realistic, because so many people that first start this self improvement grind, up at that in air quotes again, but they're not realistic at all. And I think this is one thing me and David have learned really well, is that be realistic. Like, you can't, when you first hop on NoFap, you can't go for 50 days or 150 days straight without suffering a setback. And I think so many people don't realise that, because I think the world's made that everything can be achieved so quickly, so easily, if you just apply a few.
Yeah, through social media, all you see is these influencers with massive bodies.
And I think, be realistic, be humble, be down to earth, because what may work for someone else may not work for you, and you just need to be honest with yourself. And like you said, if the night before it takes 5 to 10 minutes, you can happily scroll for 5 to 10 minutes, but you can't put your future self first, which is worrying, right? Because if you're willing just to do this action of just keep going and keep going, but you don't want to spend 5 to 10 minutes which can benefit your future self, then maybe something is wrong. And I think those 5 to 10 minutes can benefit your next day, and that can benefit your next day, and etc, etc, and you can keep going on, and then you get to the end of summer and you're actually happy with what you've done, because it may be a small improvement. You may be now somewhat on a schedule, because a lot of people we know are very inconsistent. So I don't mean like, I mean just like the one day there'll be maximum effort, the next day it just will be slacking or doing instant gratification. But there's no, it's like a graph, it just goes up, down, up, down, up, down. There's no like middle playing field where they're putting in the maximum effort they can and they're getting the best results they can for that effort. It's just that, it's just they just don't want to be consistent. They're just completely inconsistent. And I think the main point to take away from what I'm saying now is that you got to spot it yourself. You got to spot where you're being inconsistent, and you got to up the consistency. And I think inconsistency does come from stuff maybe you don't like, but we all have to do stuff we don't like to better ourselves and become a better version of ourselves, which is the whole point of the self-improvement.
Yeah, that's right, with consistency. If you really want to grind, first of all, don't tell anyone you're grinding. Just shut up and accept that you have to make this plan realistic. Maybe accept that you actually can't work 2 hours a day. There's a reason why my motto has accept as the first step. Accept, and then you can adapt and overcome. And Tim was also saying that you have to be consistent. What I've realized is that the best people, the most successful people, they don't fold under pressure. If they've got an lustful thought, they're not gonna fap. I can really see this really well when I watch tennis players. For example, a professional, if he's in a tough position, he will hit a winner. He will hit a fantastic shot. He might be in a tough position, but he's still gonna make an absolute beauty out of nothing. And so you must sort of maintain composure, and if you can maintain consistency, if you're not aiming to be the best, if you're just aiming to be average, you're gonna fold under pressure. If for example, someone's asking you to go out and it's 9 p.m. but you should be asleep. If you want to be the true best version of yourself, you're not going to give in to the sort of distraction. You're going to stick to that, to your schedule, actually grind and make summer worth it.
Yeah, but I think so many people, they do fold complete or crumble under the pressure, given a situation where they have to deal with stress or they have to deal with something that they're uncomfortable with. They just give up and they resort to what they're used to, what they're comfortable with. And this summer, especially, you have such a long time, and it's going to be so easy to get comfortable. And because you have so much free time, it's going to be quite hot. You're going to be able to relax. You're going to be able to sit in the sun under a sunroof or whatever, under an umbrella, and you can just sit there. You can drink, you can relax, and you can just waste away the time you have. And that's the problem. You're going to waste so much time. As we know, time is very valuable, because time allows you to put effort in, and you can improve every aspect of your life with time. And if you are comfortable, and we always say that discomfort leads to growth. If you are comfortable this summer, are you gonna grow? No, you're gonna start the summer the way you ended out. And I think there's this thing on TV shows, where I think when I used to watch TV shows, there used to be like the summer break, and then the 6 weeks after, or the 2 months after, the person would be a completely different person, and they would come into the high school, whatever it is, and they'd be seen as completely different. Maybe they've got different hair, got different this, and everyone wants that transformation for 6 weeks or the 2 months, because they want everyone, because they seek attention that much. They just want everyone to see them as someone who's completely different. And like, obviously that's good, you want to change, right? But you're changing for the wrong reason. And I think we will probably see this after we come back as well.
Yeah, definitely. If you want to be going back into school first day in the next academic year, proud of yourself with what you achieved in the summer, think again about what your initial plans were. Ask yourself, do I really want to go to Reading for 5 days, waste myself? Do I really want to go on holiday? Do I really want to plan this holiday out with these people I don't really like? Or could I be doing something better? Could I sacrifice that 5 day in Reading for just to stay actually, like, keep up the grind? Because if you're going to Reading for 5 days, you can't exercise for 5 days. You're in a tent, you're drinking alcohol, you're getting drugs, you're drugging yourself. And you might have the excuse, oh yeah, it's a fun time, it's a social time with friends, I need that balance. Well, what balance is there if you're going to be drinking, smoking every day for 5 days? You can't go to the gym. You really want to hit that 100 kg bench. When you hit 120 kg bench, all of this, 150 kg squat. Like I said, the weak fold under pressure. If you want to succeed, you must be strong and not give in to the distractions. And that is where it all goes down to. Making this summer worth it, you're not going to fold under pressure, and you're going to have to accept, adapt, and overcome.